Generations Bank has been serving the financial needs of the Finger Lakes region since 1870. Generations combines the best of modern banking with dedication to the local community. Visit them at mygenbank.com. Generations Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, April 24th, 2024. I'm Jim Sinacropi inside the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls to be joined by Katherine Chase, Executive Director of the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail, ahead of Wine and Herb Weekend this weekend and next on the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail. It's one of the best annual events they have, and it certainly is an event that'll have you feeling like spring, which has been a little delayed here, but you know what? The weather looks pretty good heading into this weekend, so we may have finally turned a corner. So we're going to taste some wines and some samplings of some of the dishes that you'll be able to enjoy on Wine and Herb Weekend. We'll talk a little bit about that. But first, this episode of FLX Weekly is brought to you by the Lux Hotel and Conference Center. The Lux Hotel and Conference Center is the next great location for your overnight stay, wedding, event, reception, meeting space, and more. With on-site food and beverage at Woody's Bar and Grill, you'll find everything you're looking for in one spot at the Lux Hotel and Conference Center. Contact them today to inquire about your next opportunity. And also, Auburn Auto Group. When it comes to selection and service after the sale, Auburn Auto Group has been the premier destination for new and used car buyers for close to 40 years. Among the brands offered on Route 5 in Auburn include Chevrolet, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Honda, Toyota, and Subaru. Thanks to their wide range of makes and models, you're sure to find your new or used car at Auburn Auto Group. Well, Katherine, welcome back.
Thank you.
And certainly the Wine and Herb weekends on the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail is a sure sign that we're ready to kick off the spring and summer season here in the Finger Lakes. So I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Everybody on the wine trail excited as well?
Oh, absolutely.
We're ready for this?
It's kind of the kickoff to spring, and this is our 30th annual Wine and Herb.
Wow.
Yeah, with the the little break
We're
that
getting
we had
old,
with the pandemic. But yeah, we're at the 30th annual, which is exciting, and we're back to the quote-unquote old way of doing events where you start pre-COVID, where you start at one winery and then you travel at your leisure.
Any winery, though.
Any
right?
winery, yep. So there's 10 wineries that you can travel to, taste food and wine pairing, then 3 additional wine tastings at each. You take home a potted herb or vegetable plant at each winery, and their food is also catered around that herb or vegetable plant as well. So there's all that spring theme. And then you can start your garden early, too, when you get your plant.
Yeah, I was actually, we were talking before the show, neither one of us has ever grown our own herbs, but we both want to kind of start, so.
Yeah, I have in a past life, but it's been a while. Where I live now, it's wooded, and there's so many critters, we're worried that it'd just get eaten before we could get to it.
Yeah, no, that is tough.
Which
We
would
have
be
a
so
lot of deer at
disappointing.
my house, too.
Yeah.
They eat everything else, so they would probably eat the herbs, too, but I'm planning on doing it. I've thought about it the past couple of years and let the season get away from me, but this year,
always happens.
I think I'm going to go ahead and try. And what a better way than to get some of these starter plants on the Cayuga Lake Wine Trail. So it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. both days. You mentioned you go to any one of the participating wineries to start, and then you can visit as many as you want. Your ticket's good for both days of
So you
each
can go to
individual
5
weekend.
5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday. You could try to do all in one day if you so choose. Space it out. And it's 2 weekends, so you can go this coming weekend, the 27th and 28th, or you can go May 4th and 5th. Or you can buy tickets and you can go both weekends if you're really gung-ho
But you would
about
need
it.
2 separate
But you
tickets
would need
for
2
that,
separate
right?
tickets, yes, but we don't discourage it if you want to come both weekends.
And as you go, you collect the potted herbs.
Yep. And we give you a little plant carrier too, so they're not just running loose around your trunk.
So literally, you could end up with 10 different herbs to start your garden with. Yeah, that's
And vegetable plants, because it's hard to get 10.
Yeah, so
usable
there's
herbs.
basil. This year, there's basil, broccoli, cauliflower, cilantro, Cherokee purple tomato, dill, oregano, parsley, rosemary, and sweet banana pepper.
Yep.
All of which grow great in our climate. And yeah, I mean, to me, I cook a lot, and the idea of just going out in the backyard and grabbing the herbs I need when I need them would be nice. Especially, I use a lot of basil. I'll use a lot of dill. Parsley's nice. I mean,
Yep.
parsley can go on
And
everything.
those three are here with us today, kind
So
of.
yeah, let's sample a little
Okay.
bit of what you can expect here. So
So
us
our
through this.
first one is a red-skinned potato salad with dill. That is paired with Lucas Butterfly. It's a white wine. It is, no, I'm going off course of my list here. Did I give you the right wine?
this
Smell
is
it. I'm gonna test you
Hosmer
now.
Gruner Veltliner.
Okay, so I'm not holding it right, but it's fine.
oh, so this is the right.
That is the right wine, but it's not holding the right food.
Okay, so what were you?
They might pair well together,
I'm
but
sure they'll all pair well together, but let's stick to the script.
I'm not sticking to the script. That's what happens. So you are holding the Gruner, and it is going with a roasted cauliflower with lemon parsley dressing.
Which this looks great.
So
at that.
their vegetable is a cauliflower, but also has the parsley. So you can use two of the herbs and vegetables that you are receiving. So they go hand in hand. So the Gruner is a 0.5% residual sugar, and they go together. It smelled amazing when I made it. I only made a little bit of it. It calls for the entire head of cauliflower, but I didn't get crazy making it that much at home. But I haven't sampled it yet. So
You
you'll have to,
did a great job cooking the cauliflower.
thank you.
You-
Didn't seem like it was overly complicated.
You can taste the herbs. And cauliflower is the hottest new vegetable this season. Or it seems like, lately.
Cauliflower can be anything it wants to be, too, it seems like.
Yeah, I've done cauliflower steaks or something I've done a lot of. And this
Yeah.
would work great with this herb dressing and lemon as well. You can taste the lemon. And it does pair well with this wine.
It could accidentally pair well with the other one I tried to get you to drink it with, too.
So that's actually going to be available at one of the wineries.
Yeah,
that we
so
just
that's
found.
at Hosmer. And Hosmer actually, they pair, all the wines that they give you that day actually pairs with their food, which is a little unique. So they're all obligated to give you one wine and food pairing that do go together, and then there's 3 additional wines that may not go with the food. But at Hosmer, all their wines will go with their food.
Gotcha.
So they'll tell you to try to ration your food if it's possible, which is sometimes hard to do when it tastes so good. So I didn't write down. They
great
have
Gruner,
they have
too.
some whites and some reds that will pair with that cauliflower as well.
Gruner Veltliner.
Yeah, Gruner's really good. I like it. It's a nice crisp wine. It's
Perfect
a
for
little
summer.
fruity, so it's not too dry. It's not too sweet. It's perfect on the spectrum of white.
And great with obviously cauliflower, but also seafood would go great with seafood.
Yeah.
Love it.
And maybe it'll go also with the potato salad.
And what's next?
So next we have the red-skinned potato salad with dill. This is from Lucas. So their herb is dill. Paired with Lucas Butterfly, this is 5% residual sugar, so it is a little bit on the sweeter side, definitely sweeter than the Gruner.
I like it though.
Yeah, this was one of my beginner wines, as I call it. Most start sweeter and then they work their way dry. And Butterfly was one of my wines that I drank a lot of, and now I'm a little bit on the drier side.
Good job on the potato salad.
Thank you. I made it this morning, so it's just at its.
Strong taste of
Point.
dill.
It felt like a lot of dill.
Now you can't overdo it with dill though. Like if you want, if I'm at a restaurant and something on the menu says dill in it, I want to taste the dill.
Oh, you taste the dill. It was. I got one of those little containers of dill since they don't have bundles. I just go to Walmart. It was the entire little plastic container of dill. But if I had gone to Wegmans, I think they would have had a bushel or a bundle.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
And so I like to use dill on salmon a lot, but I'll use the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'll just cut so much
Yeah.
dill.
I
because
halved the recipe, so I didn't have a super ton of potato salad at home.
you can't put too much dill on things,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, so this also has celery in it. There's radish as well, along with the red skin potato. So the radish will give it a little bit of extra zhuzh to it that you taste in there.
Great pairing too.
Yeah. Good, I'll let them know, or if they're watching, they'll hear that it's an exceptional pairing.
It is sweet, which I'm not complaining about sweet wines like a lot of people do. I'm not going to be, a wine snob.
But it's like perfectly sweet. It's not like,
Yeah, it's not like fruit juice or anything.
No, it's
Well,
not. It's a really good sweet.
especially
it.
when you're eating potato salad.
Yeah,
Very good.
good. And so the third food that we have is a lemon and basil frico, which it's, for all intents purpose, it's like a cracker.
Yeah.
So it's Parmesan cheese, fresh grated Parmesan cheese, fresh basil, chopped up, and lemon zest.
Oh, really? The whole thing is Parmesan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you put it in a little pile, flatten it out, and bake it.
I would love
And it might not travel well in the bag, but it's supposed to be like a little crisp.
Yeah, crispy.
Yeah. And it
perfect.
smelled delightful.
The herb really cuts through the sharpness of the Parmesan, too. It's good.
Yeah.
When I first saw it, I thought there was some potatoes involved, but no. it's
No. So that's very keto friendly. And all three of these are gluten free. Oh, let me backtrack. So we don't have a pairing with this. So this is from Cayuga Ridge. Their herb is basil, and they are expecting a new release to be out. So they did not send me with anything just yet. But after tasting this, what would you pair it with? Or you're about to try it with the
I tried
Gruner.
it with both. And I'm about to try it with the Gruner.
So how does it go with the sweet versus dry spectrum in your taste and preferences? How do you feel like it goes with it?
Honestly, I like them both, but yeah, it definitely contrasts with the sweetness of the Lucas wine, and the Gruner is
So it
just
could either, it's
great
probably
with it.
more of a white wine food. Yeah, I'm not sure what they have coming out as a release, so we'll find out.
These
Which
are
will be
great.
fun. But to jump back ahead, so all of these are gluten free, and of the 10 recipes, 8 of them are gluten free, which is
Wow.
really awesome. It's a really highly sought after question. I get asked a lot, do you have gluten free options? Swedish Hill has an Asian broccoli ramen coleslaw, so obviously the ramen noodles are gluten. And then Americana has a Sunday sauce. So the sauce itself is gluten-free, but he adds in meatballs, and so the breadcrumbs in the meatballs have gluten. So the sauce itself is gluten-free, but once he adds the meat in, that adds in the gluten. So it's loosely gluten-free. So I'm just calling it not gluten-free. So those of you who do ask, we have 8 gluten-free recipes, so you can still participate and have something to
8 of the
sample.
10,
Yeah,
which
8
is
of the 10.
incredible.
Which in the past we would only have 1 or maybe 2, and they would have to make something specific for it. But this one, because it's such a fresh themed recipes, it's easy to make them gluten-free. So
Fantastic, and that's just a sampling.
That's just
Every
sampling.
winery you go to, something
Yeah.
new to sample, something new to
So I have the list. Montezuma has a pineapple and mango salsa. Swedish Hill, like I said, they have an Asian broccoli ramen coleslaw.
Okay.
Knapp has sweet banana pepper bruschetta. Buttonwood has stewed gigante beans. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Stewed gigante beans and tomatoes with oregano pesto. Thirst Owl has a romesco sauce, which is like a Spanish sauce. And 6 Mile Creek has rosemary lentil salad.
Oh, good, lentils.
Yeah, so it's all really fresh, springy recipes.
Infused with herbs.
Yep, all infused with herbs or vegetables. There's 5 herbs and then 5 vegetables that you get to take home, start your garden.
So, pro tip on these, on this particular weekend, or actually probably most of the events you have, Saturday tends to be a little more crowded than Sunday. So if
Absolutely,
you have to
yes.
pick 1 or 2 and you want to bang out a lot, probably have an easier time of it on Sunday.
Yes, that is a good pro tip to give. Yes, the bulk of the people do come on Saturday. There will be probably 60% less people out on Sunday. There will be less crowds.
So-
But these events are not as large as they once were pre-COVID. So even Saturday isn't nearly as busy as it was if you're thinking like it was. So
Well-
2019 has 1,000 less people than it did this
Wow.
year.
Well, we might see a bounce back this year, again with good weather this weekend, and then hopefully the first weekend of May will be good weather as well. Get people out. And, you know, for events like this, you can deal with, crowds aren't prohibitive. It actually makes you feel good, like
It's part of the
other
event.
people are doing what
Yeah.
you're doing. So, and this, like you mentioned, 30 years, which just blows my mind,
Yeah.
of Wine and Herb Weekend. And there's a reason for it.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best events because you get the herb samples to bring home and grow in your own garden.
Yeah.
You get, to taste all these different dishes that you just mentioned.
And you
in
get
each
the
winery.
recipes to recreate at home, and they're
Wow.
simple. I made all 3 of these this morning.
And you can bring home some bottles of wine with
And you
you
can bring home
as
some
well.
bottles or cases. Yeah.
Stock up for the summer.
Yep.
Now, most of these, well, I don't know if I should assume, but most you're going to taste a lot of whites probably with their herbs.
Yeah. The like Joe's Sunday sauce at Americana that has red.
Which one do you know?
Baco Noir, I think, in the
Yeah, we
Revolutionary.
tasted that at
Yeah, we
last month
tasted
or a
those.
couple months ago.
That I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Most of these are whites. I'm waiting to hear back from Thirsty Owl, but it's because it's a red sauce. I'm gonna guess that it's
Right.
likely a red wine, but most of them are whites.
Um,
For the pairing, that doesn't mean you can't sample reds
oh,
with
right.
your additional samples. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. But it's good to try something. If you're not a white drinker, it's good to try something a little outside your box. That's what I like these events for. You can try something that maybe you aren't necessarily leaning towards.
And you're flexible to see as many wineries as you want, go in whatever order you want,
Yeah.
start where you want, end with you want.
Yeah.
And you go with groups too, limited to 12.
12, yep, yep.
So, and then some, every winery will do it a little different. Some are seated, some are standing at the counter.
Yeah, Hosmer was seated for the bacon event, but they just told me they're gonna not do seated this time. So they should all be back to counter tasting for the events, just because it is quite a few people. But the counters are only so large, so there may be a little bit of a wait time, but it won't be very long.
So, how do you sign up and register? Just show up or?
Please don't just show up. You can go to CayugaWineTrail.com and purchase tickets under the events page. Pre-sale goes until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We should have tickets available for sale at the door, but if you're looking to buy tickets after tomorrow morning, you can call the wine show office and I can try to sneak you in. Otherwise, I should have supplies to be able to purchase at the door. So I guess you can just show up after all.
But easiest way, register on the website. You show up your first winery, you'll get your souvenir wine glass
Yep.
and your first potted herb, and then or vegetable,
Yep.
and that plant, and then wherever you go, you'll pick up one more.
And you're given a little cardboard plant carrier
Yeah.
to carry your plants in, so that
Like a scavenger hunt,
yeah, kind of, yeah.
kind of.
Collect your little plants as you go. Yep.
Well, like we talked off at the beginning, I'm ready to start my own herb garden. And I've thought about actually having it be a raised bed type of deal, like a table.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's preventing the
Critters.
wildlife
Yeah.
from getting it. And I've heard things for like Irish Spring soap. You can do shavings of Irish
There's
Spring
so
soap
many-
around it.
So many hacks, quote unquote. Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, the herbs are certainly a real treat for deer and rabbits,
Sure.
and it's tough to keep them away.
Yeah.
I mean,
Squirrels.
deer eat my hostas, and the hostas to me don't taste good.
No, but they're pretty.
Right. So if the deer are gonna eat the hostas, imagine
What
when
are
they
gonna
get a
do to
load of the
something that tastes
basil.
good? Sure.
So
No, I know.
yeah, lots of tips online too for keeping animals away from your garden. So
Yeah, but once they start planting all the fields, maybe they'll go towards those instead of yours.
that's true too, and it is feeling like this spring is getting off to a little late start. Normally I have some plants in the ground like mid-April. It gets warm, I get excited, I put it in, and then of course we get another frost.
Yeah.
But like I said, finally this weekend looks good. Like
Yeah.
Sunday showing a high in the mid to upper 70s.
Monday too.
Maybe a chance of rain continuing into next
Yeah.
week. Today, Wednesday, I mean, it's cold today, which is a false flag because it starts warming up Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, both potentially in the 70s, and then into next week. And so hopefully going to pull back on the rain too. We've gotten a lot of rain.
Well, it is April. April showers, as they say.
Spring May flowers,
Yep.
but we're almost done. So again, this event will span April and May, April 27th, 28th. That's this weekend, and then May 4th and 5th next weekend. 10 to 5 both days. 10 participating wineries. CayugaLakeWineTrail.com to get your. There's a look at the website, which you'll see when you go there. You can pre-register for the event, and then depending on where you're starting from and who's driving and what friends are
We have
going.
designated driver tickets as well. They're discounted. You get everything but the wine, and there's coffee and non-alcoholic beverages as well. So you can still sample the food, or you can still collect the potted
And get
plants.
the plants, yep.
And you can be underage for that. So if you have, an 18, 19, 20-year-old child who's willing to drive you and put up with your shenanigans, or even if you're expecting and still want to participate, you can still come and safely drive your friends around.
Yeah, and, aside from everything we mentioned, it's going to be nice weather this weekend. Great just to be out on the trail. Plenty of places to sit and relax and enjoy things from winery to winery. Great views of the lake. And a lot of the spring trees are budding with flowers.
Gorgeous, yes.
And it feels like the leaves are going to start popping soon. Any minute now. A lot of buds on the trees. So I'm excited, man. This was a longer stretch of winter into spring than I'd prefer.
Yeah, it was.
Once
wasn't-
April hits, I'm
it
ready to
wasn't
go.
Too cold, but the not too cold, not too warm, just like hung around too long.
And too wet.
Yeah.
Way too wet. Way
Yeah,
too
just hung
wet.
around.
Especially if you're like to golf or
Yeah.
do yard work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, indulge in high herb-infused dishes. Discover the perfect wine pairing for each. Take home the recipes. Make sure you're the star chef at your next gathering where you're cooking. And then enjoy up to 3 additional wine tastings at every winery in addition to the pairing that they have set for you. It's great. 30th year wine and herb weekends, 2 weekends, this weekend and next weekend. CayugaLakeWineTrail.com for details.
And if you're coming up for the weekend, there's also places to stay along the lake. You can stay at some bed and breakfasts. Barristers
Airbnbs,
here in
yep.
town, Cayuga Lake Cabins, Black Walnut, and Interlaken. Anywhere you can stay right along the winery. Some still have availability even.
Yeah, and then
So don't.
5 wineries one day, 5 the next.
Right.
It's tough to do 10 in one day.
It is. But, you can still put together a last-minute trip if you're willing. There's still some availability out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
How was the eclipse for the wineries? I mean, my goodness, I never seen anything like it in terms of like traffic and
Yeah.
people.
I heard that Route 89 was backed up from Ithaca all the way up to Romulus and Varick,
Some people were just pulling over.
trying to leave. But the wineries were busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday into Tuesday.
The
From
eclipse.
all over.
That's good. Yeah,
Visitation
it was
really-
definitely a good weekend.
it was
Now,
really good.
Nobody could control the actual eclipse, which
No,
kind of was a
the
downer.
cloudiness, no.
I mean,
That's not on us, but the visit, and all the visitors who came were really pleasant. Everyone was really happy. The visitation was great. People were coming, having a good time at the wineries. A lot of people who had never been before were here too, which was
just because
really,
we were in
it was a
the
breath of
path
fresh
of
air.
totality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Hopefully, people got exposed to
Yeah,
it.
we
Want
need
to
more
come.
eclipses almost.
Well, 2045 will be here before you know it.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, all right. Well, hey, good luck on the 30th iteration of
Thank you.
the Wine Herb Weekend, which that just blows me
Yeah.
away. How long have we been doing our Wine Wednesday editions?
4 years, I think.
At least, right?
Something like that, yeah. And we never stopped even for COVID, so we're not
No.
going to count.
No, well, somebody had to keep the
Yeah.
wheels turning
Yep.
in society during COVID, and so
Yep.
leave it to us here,
Yep.
FLX Weekly. Well, Catherine, thanks. Like I say, good luck. Good luck with your garden.
Thank you.
Anything? What you preview of maybe next month? What's going on next month?
So for June, we have our Wag Your Tail Along the Trail promotion.
Oh, with the dogs.
Last
Good.
year it was 2 weeks. This year we're doing the entire month.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So look for more details on our website. We have donation
Should I bring my
spots.
dog next month when we do the show?
Sure, I'll try to bring mine. I don't know if your dog gets
Oh,
along
they
with
will.
other
They
dogs.
will.
Your dog doesn't seem to like me, but
You know, my dog doesn't like other dogs or people that he somewhat
well,
knows.
then we could just bring my dog.
He
'Cause
does
he
like
likes
him. He just
everybody.
gets so freaking excited.
Yeah,
About things that he's inconsolable. He's a French bulldog, and
Yeah.
his name is George. A lot of you may have seen him on Finger Lakes One for various things, but yeah, we could try to bring him out on the wine trails.
well, my dog's a golden retriever, and she likes everything, and everybody likes her.
Now that is a friendly breed.
Yeah.
without
So
a
wag your
doubt.
tail
So
along the
maybe we'll
trail.
bring-
We can talk about that in May.
We'll set something up.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the show, click like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back next Wednesday, and then we'll be back the last Wednesday of May for our next edition of Wine Wednesday with Katherine. Until then, have a great weekend here in the Finger Lakes.
FingerLakes1.com